Welcome back, Romantic Home family, and welcome if y'all are new. I am Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video, I am over the moon, excited to share with you guys DIY, Dollar Tree, and budget-friendly decor crafts. So this is a binge-worthy compilation video filled with so many amazing crafting and decorating ideas that you guys can do on a total budget for all different skill levels and all different decor styles. You know, whether you guys like farmhouse, shabby chic, the Ritz Paris, cottage decor. You guys could even, customize anything by changing out the ribbon and the paint color to match your personal decor. So thank you guys so much for being here. Now, this is my 7th season on YouTube, so I would love to have you join my amazing, fabulous community. All you guys have to do is subscribe. It's totally free. It helps me out so much as I am a full-time content creator. And also pop over to my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook page where I share about 6 or 7 crafting and decorating videos a day with you guys over there to keep you totally inspired to craft and decorate. And I have a free group page for you guys to post and share photos of your home decor and DIY projects. It is truly a blessing to have you all here. I hope you're having a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed Easter with your family and friends. Now grab your favorite hot coffee, hot tea, iced tea, lemonade, whatever you love to drink. Kick back and relax, and let's craft and decorate to our heart's content with so many amazing ideas. Share this with your friends. I am going to be announcing a new giveaway next week for you guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns. Get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. This first Dollar Tree tutorial, we're going to create an amazing, gorgeous Dollar Tree blooming spring Easter egg. I found these stacked eggs at Dollar Tree, and they were at both my stores, so you guys should be able to find them, hopefully. And then I'm just popping them into this plastic Dollar Tree Easter basket. It was $1.25. I thought it was a total steal. It fit perfectly. Then I'm going to use my easy bow maker and make a big, giant, fluffy bow. I had some of this Hobby Lobby ribbon left over from that big wreath that you guys saw me make off to the side. You guys might see that, and I'm just going to pop it into my easy bow maker, and I'm going to make 7-inch loops on either side. Now you guys don't need an easy bow maker to make this bow. You can simply use a measuring mat or even just a ruler to measure your loops on either side. I like the easy bow maker sometimes because it just makes things a little bit easier when you're doing these larger layered bows. The next ribbon I chose was some of this beautiful Dollar Tree plaid ribbon. I love this because it does give a pop of color and breaks up some of the pastel pink, which I love me some pastel pink, but I'm going to be adding in probably some blues and purples to some of my Easter decor. I also have been making some more fake bakes for you guys with blues and purples. I'm so excited to put them in my Etsy shop, which, yes, I did open my Olivia's Romantic Home Etsy shop, and I will link it in the description box of this video. And thank you to everyone that purchased my cakes. They sold out, except for I think I have 2 left. So thank you guys so much. It's such a true blessing and honor to be able to offer some beautiful treasures in my little shop. So I layered also some pink gingham ribbon, and that was from Hobby Lobby, as well as this smaller pink ribbon. Now I like to do different layers and textures of ribbon, but you guys use whatever colors that you love that you're working with. And then once I had the bow all finished up, I'm just going to trim off the tails, make sure they're nice, and then I'm going to pull it off of my easy bow maker. Now the easy bow maker you guys can grab off of Amazon or your local craft store. And then I'm going to take a zip tie and just zip tie all my loops together, and then we're going to tie it on the bottom base of my little stackable egg. Now in my mind I was wondering, where should I tie this on at? So what I decided to do once I had my little bow zip tied and gave it a little bit of a fluffy. Now you guys know me, I love big bows and I cannot lie. So you're going to want to fluff your bow and then fluff it again once you get it on your project. But so I'm going to go ahead and tie with some more little Dollar Tree ribbon around the base of this egg. I'm going to double knot it here and then trim it off. I don't want the tails to be super long because we have our big fluffy bow. And then I'm going to take that big fluffy bow and zip tie the bow on to where that seam was from the ribbon there. Super easy peasy. You guys can totally do this part. So basically you want to create a bow, then zip tie it on to your cute little egg. Once you have that done, you can leave it as is. I thought it looked fabulous with the bow, but you guys know me, I can't stop. I have to go super maximalism. So I'm just going to add in some of this pretty draping greenery. Now this was at Hobby Lobby, and I went and found these greeneries when Hobby Lobby had 40 or 50% off, I believe, on all of their floral stems. I needed more because we're getting ready to get snowed in, and I want to do a bunch of projects. In my mind, you guys know a crafter's brain, we're like, we never have enough. even though truly I probably have enough. So I did the draping greenery on either side, and then they had these little bundles of greenery, and I thought they were a super great deal. I think they were like $7.99 and then plus 40 or 50% off, so that made them about $4 for all this greenery. Now that's girl math, so bear with me. I did add some greenery kind of coming up to the side, and then just a smaller piece next to that. You guys really get creative with this. Dollar Tree also has really pretty greenery. I do like the quality of Hobby Lobby just a little bit better than Dollar Tree. It doesn't shed as much, but please use whatever you guys have on hand. And again, you guys can stop with the bow, or you can get a little crazy and really zhuzh it and fluff it and go all in. Also, remember, you can decorate these with whatever colors that you love. And Dollar Tree has the white eggs, and they also have a multicolored egg that's, I believe it's pink and purple and blue maybe. Now, originally I thought I was going to paint this egg pink, but then I thought it might look kind of strange. So I left it white. I thought it looked really pretty white, and why make more work for ourselves if we don't have to? But by all means, if you guys want to paint your egg, go for it. I decided not to with this one. I added a big, beautiful pink rose, a little bit kind of close to that bow, and then this smaller little white. I believe this is called a ranunculus floral rose, or just like, it looks more of like a buddy rose, not a buddy rose. Anyway, it's another beautiful white floral. I added that in, and then I'm just kind of looking at it, seeing what it needs. If you guys can tell the way I work, I really like to add in a couple little things, take a step back, eyeball it, and then to know if I want to add something to the next part of the project, I'll pop it into the project, then take it back out, and then hot glue it. I'm leaving some of my tutorials a little bit longer for you guys so you can really see the full effect of what we're doing here. So also from Hobby Lobby, they have these little small florals in their spring section, which I believe all their spring stuff is 50% off, which is a great deal. And so I got some of these to use as details on my little cakes and also some of my floral creations. Can you guys tell by my face how hard I'm concentrating to make sure that this just comes out absolutely perfect, and to share the tutorial with you guys, and then also to try to look at it from my end to make sure it doesn't look totally wacky. But anyway, I hope you guys are loving it, and we're just going to continue to add little bits and bobs as we go. So once I had the floral done, I showed it to my daughter and I said, what do you think it needs? She said, Mom, I think it needs something up at the top to kind of draw everything together. And she goes, you know how Easter eggs have like the little seam across them? And I said, yep, you know what? I think we can do that. So I'm taking some of this Dollar Tree pink ribbon and I'm just going to hot glue it in and around the top and then in around the side, and then add a cute little bow. I thought that that would just kind of zhuzh it up and pull in the look of an Easter egg. I also kind of loved how it looked a little bit like a cross, which Dollar Tree has out some really cute little crosses that I picked up a couple of that we can hopefully DIY something, make something super cute. Here is how it is looking, and then I'm just going to tie an easy little shoelace bow to hot glue to the front. So it has a little bit of fluff and goodness up at the top. Now I didn't want to get too crazy and distract because we already have a lot going on with the floral arrangement. So I thought, you know what, a simple little bow at the top is going to be sufficient, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the top. Now Let me know, do you guys go over the top decorating for Easter, spring? I'm super excited for it. The pastel holiday is my jam. Now, the other thing I'm doing is taking some wire cutters and just clipping the little prongs off where the handle of the basket was. Here is the finished look. Now, I looked back on it. I was like, you know what? We need to make it a little bit more Eastery. So I added in some little Dollar Tree Easter eggs. The ones that come in the little bag that you can use for decoration. I just thought it would be cute. I used a pink and a purple one. So I hope you guys are inspired to try this. If you had seen some of these topiaries, I wanted it to look like something that was very boutique, high-end, without us breaking the bank. Now for this next Dollar Tree DIY, I picked up this super cute little Dollar Tree. I think it's like a stuffed bunny hanger. It's supposed to be like a door hanger, but I'm going to make it into more of a pillow, and we're going to make it shabby chic style. I believe these were $3 in the Dollar Tree Plus section. I'm taking this lace that I found at the thrift store, and I'm going to cut and trim that and add that to my cute little bunny's ears. So once I had the lace added to my little bunny ears, and you guys could also use just some other types of fabric, or you wouldn't even have to add lace or fabric to the ears, but I just think it makes it look really cute. I'm going to take 2 pieces of lace and tie them together in just kind of a fluffy bow. And I thought about just doing this all creams. Oh, you could also even do like a little bridal bunny with this idea. That's a fun idea. But once I had that added, I thought, you know what? We need some little shabby chic fabric. So I have this super adorable ribbon from, I believe I got this from Hobby Lobby last year. It has pretty little roses. We're gonna make a quick little easy bow to go right underneath the bunny's ears. Now once I have my little bunny bow added, I layered that lace on top of it to just give it kind of a really cute little whimsical look. I hot glued all of this on there. It did take a little bit to dry, but you guys could really customize your bunny for really any colors that you wanted to. I just thought that this would be a fun idea. It would even be fun to use this in another way. I'm not really for sure how you would use it, but you could put it on like a little stake and pop it into a basket maybe and make it into a decor piece. But I am going to use it on my fancy chair that's in my living room that I always have sitting by my fireplace. I just think it looks so cute and festive, and the pillow that's on that chair is already a cream color, so I think it'll be really perfect. But since this is a door hanger, that's how it was described, I believe, on the Dollar Tree tag. Oh, I also added in some cute little roses. You guys can easily use this as a door hanger, a decor piece on your wall. Another fun place that this would be adorable would be in a kiddo's bedroom, and you guys could change out the pinks and do blue for boys, because boys like bunnies too. But I added in several different pretty little roses to the cute little bunny head, and I just think it looks so super adorable. And then I think I even finished it up with some little pink ribbons on her ears. What should we name our gorgeous bunny? I think she's oh so shabby chic, frilly, and ready for the most fun Easter ever. For this next Dollar Tree tutorial, DIY, I'm going to share with you guys how to take a Dollar Tree tablecloth and make a big fluffy bow. Now, I have had several of you send me this DIY and I have yet to try it, so here we go. You're just going to simply take the tablecloth and make what I call as a shoelace bow. So you just make a bow just like you would be tying your tennis shoes. Once you have it made, you're going to give it a big tug and squeeze to see how fluffy you want your bow. Now, you guys know me, I love big bows and I cannot lie, so we are going to make a fluffy bow out of this. I even think you could even cut this in half and make a smaller bow. But once I had that made, I was like, you know what, I need to make the loops a little bit bigger. So I simply found the edge of the little Dollar Tree tablecloth, and these tablecloths are in your Dollar Tree party section. Oh, I want to tell you guys too. Okay, so once you have your bow made, you're just gonna pull the inside of your bow out if you want to make it a little bit fluffier. But I was going to tell you guys that Dollar Tree in their spring section has purple and white check tablecloths. Wouldn't that be adorable to use with a pink bow? I think that would be so absolutely fabulous. So I'm just going to take these little poofy loops and floofy them out. And I'm going to do that to both sides. See, that makes it look a little bit more floofy. And then the way that I decided to hang this was just hang it on a nail on the wall. And then you guys can use some painter's tape if you want to get your bow loops to stand up a little bit better. So here is how it is looking so far. What do you guys think? I mean, for $1.25 to have this size of bow. Now, of course, it is a plastic tablecloth, so it's not going to look like the fabric bows that you guys see. But what a fun DIY, and how adorable would this be to put on the back of chairs to make them look super fancy, which I think that we could do. Also, it'd be great to put on to use for kids, for decorating for kids' parties, because you know we don't like to spend tons and tons of money on our kids' birthday parties, but we want them to look fabulous, especially for a little girl's party. How adorable to do pink bows everywhere. I've seen people do these and you know, line them up on the wall would be a super fun idea. Now I'm just taking and cutting some tails. We're going to dovetail those ends, which means we're going to cut a triangle at the bottom because we want it to be a little bit more bow-like. You guys could also cut it up at a slant, however you want your bow to look. You can tell I didn't totally tie it all the way even, which isn't a super big deal, but these are so fun and fabulous. And Dollar Tree has a bunch of different colors for their tablecloth. So they have blue, yellow, red, white, pink, purple. So you guys have a lot to choose from with this idea. Here is the final look. I think for $1.25 we have killed it with this project. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have tried this tutorial and if you think that I did a good job with it. The next tutorial you're absolutely going to love. I went crazy for this idea and I think it's going to be so versatile. So for the next DIY, this is going to be a budget-friendly DIY, but it's not going to necessarily be Dollar Tree. So from Walmart, I found a $7 mirror. They have these $7 back of the door mirrors, okay? And I'm going to measure it, the whole size of what the part of the mirror is. And then I have this Love Shack fancy wallpaper that I had bought for my daughter's bedroom. Well, you guys know my daughter is graduating from high school. She's going to be off to college. And I was like, babe, you know what? I love this wallpaper. It's going to be so fun, but can we save it for your dorm room because you're not going to really be here anymore? She's like, no, Mom, I don't know, about my dorm room. And I go, what about if we did panels that you can move and, hang on the wall and just make it look really pretty? She was like, oh my gosh, Mom, that's the perfect idea. That way they're movable. She can move them around, do whatever she wants with them. So this was the idea that we came up with, is to take our peel and stick wallpaper. We bought this gorgeous Love Shack fancy wallpaper. We didn't want it to go to waste. And I might do some wallpaper in her bedroom when she's gone if she wants me to. Anyway, but she's really been shopping for dorm items. So we're just going to measure this, the size of the mirror, cut it, and then adhere the paper to the mirror. I didn't take the mirror out for this project because number one, I wasn't for sure how sturdy it was going to be, and it was already put together in the back where you couldn't remove it. Maybe you could if you took that backing off, but I didn't want to risk tearing that part of it up, so she would still be able to hopefully hang it. So I thought, you know what, we're just going to stick it right to this mirror. It'll help it keep its shape because these are a little bit of a flimsy mirror. They're not terrible, but they're not probably the most high quality mirror. But to make into panels, we're just going to take the peel and stick wallpaper and stick it into the panel. Now, it did take a little bit of adjusting and it wasn't perfect. I used one of my cake scrapers because I can't for the life of me figure out where I put my little wallpaper tool. And the cake scraper was a little bit sharp and aggressive. It caught the wallpaper in a couple of places. So for the next one, I'm going to hunt my studio down, find the right tool, and use that. But I don't know, I also might have been pushing too hard, so it kind of pulled in a couple places. It didn't really totally make a hole, but I just noticed the imperfection. You guys know me, I can be a little bit of a perfectionist. I try to let that go and give myself grace, but I'm just taking this tool and peeling it back, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, you guys. It turned out so good, and it wasn't hard. I was worried at the end that it was going to be hard with cutting that extra edge off. I had my little tool. So at Walmart, they sell a wallpaper and little X-Acto knife together. I think it was $5, $6, $7, not super expensive. And then that's a great little cutter tool. And then you also have your scraper. So you guys can tell I'm really trying to make it really good for my daughter. And when she saw it, because we're getting ready to have a snow day, she was already out of school. We're going to be snowed in for a couple days. So it's going to be craft-orama in our house. I'm so excited. I'm such a homebody, you guys. I'm just going to love it. But I surprised her with it. I was like, look what I did. She was like, oh my gosh, Mom, it's so gorgeous. And then I hijacked it and took it back out to my studio to finish filming with you guys. But I'm going to make 4 of these for her bedroom. And then those also she can take to college. She can use them if she doesn't want them. That's totally fine. I'll use them, just want to give her the option. But I was worried that this Love Shack fancy wallpaper was going to look super babyish. And it's not. You guys, it's gorgeous. And I believe that it's available on their website. I think you might have to you can go on their Love Shack Fancy website, but I think it's on Pottery Barn. Just Google Love Shack Fancy peel and stick wallpaper and you'll find the different patterns that they have. But make sure if you're doing this project, you want it to be the peel and stick wallpaper. So they have wallpaper that you have to add paste to, and I don't think I would recommend it for this project. I don't know. I've never worked with wallpaper paste, but it really scares the heck out of me. It intimidates me. Let me know if you guys use wallpaper paste and how that goes. I already have a hard time getting a mess with glue. I can imagine that I wouldn't do super great with it. Now on my textured walls that I used some of the Love Shack fancy wallpaper on, I may actually end up having to go back in some of the corners and add some paste because my walls were kind of textured, and you're not supposed to add it to textured walls. It sticks really well on a flat surface, but I'm noticing it's coming up in some little spots here and there, so I'm gonna have to remedy that. But I think that this is coming out gorgeous. What do you guys think? I love this print. I wish my whole house could be done in this. I just think it's so beautiful. I might actually do my coffee table in this print. Wouldn't that be pretty? I have like a little cheap coffee table from the thrift store, but I think it would be cool to do like a print on it just to make it look different and interesting. But I'm just using my little cutter tool, and I cut it off really easy. The seam wasn't perfect, and a little tip that I will notice on wallpaper is cut it a little bit bigger. I think cut it at least an inch bigger than what you're measuring at, because for some reason I feel like wallpaper shrinks. I don't know why. When I'm applying it to things, I'm like, well, I measured it. Why did I run short on it? And over measure a little bit of it. I think that's helpful. But this project actually came out pretty good for my first time doing this type of panel. I am loving it, and I think it looks beautiful. I even think I really love the gold mirror. I think it makes it look a little bit more classy. I was going to get white mirrors, but Walmart didn't have them. What do you guys think about this? I think it's fabulous. I think it just looks super gorgeous. Imagine a couple of these panels together. It could look like, you know, those fancy, you know, places in France that Marie Antoinette used to live in. A Dollar Tree pool noodle and make a beautiful floral garland. These are so fun and very easy to do. What you're going to want to do is you're going to start out with your greenery. Now this is actually just greenery that I had floating around in my craft stash. The florals had already been plucked off of it for another project. So I'm taking and I'm just going to make 4 kind of spaced apart pieces of greenery to kind of give myself a little bit of a template, because this pool noodle is a bit longer, and I just want to give myself about 4 points where I know these are the sections where I need similar florals, similar greenery and whatnot. I'm also going to go on in with some of these longer spikier greenery pieces, and they're from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to do a mix of kind of just some florals that I had in my craft stash that I had clipped off, and that I'm just going to hot glue into this piece. Now I am going to be doing, I believe, several of these I've decided to possibly use for my son and his fiance's wedding. They're getting married in September, and we want to make the aisles of their walkway when they're walking down at their venue really beautiful. There's going to be I think 6 rows of chairs on either side. So I have measurements for it, and I think if I do these as pool noodle garlands, they'll look really nice and they'll stay up really well, and we can move them super easily. Meaning that also, because I'm in the wedding, I don't want to have to like fuss and arrange things. So I'm thinking if I go ahead and set these up already, they'll already be arranged. So this is kind of a trial run for that, but I'm also going to use it in my studio on my mantle. Now I'm mixing in hydrangeas and roses for this kind of tester piece, and they're not the most high quality because they were actually pulled from a wreath that I found at the thrift store that it just was just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of bland. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take those pieces off of that wreath and make it into a beautiful garland and test this out and see how it goes. Now I will tell you that I did need quite a bit of florals, I felt like, for this. So if I were to buy this and recreate this, I would probably suggest 2 to 3 bundles of hydrangeas and maybe 2 to 3 bundles of roses, probably at least a bundle or 2 of your greenery, to really get you going. Now I like it to be really full, and if I was going to do this for a wedding aisle, I would make sure that I had some filler flowers, because I think your nicer flowers should be in the center, and then your filler flowers can be in and around the pool noodle, because you're not really going to see them, but you don't want to see the pool noodle, if that makes sense. So anyway, you guys really can have fun with this and get creative with it. I'm just hot gluing the flowers in to the garland. Most of them, some of them had a longer stem, and I would just be able to just kind of pop them in. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I do this for the wedding,
every single stem is going to be glued in really, really well because I don't want anything falling out. I don't want to have to mess with, trying to repair a garland when we're in transit, when we're going to have a lot of things going on for the wedding. And I think that I think that I can do maybe 3 down each side of the aisles. Again, I do have to measure and see. And I did get a deal actually at Hobby Lobby on lamb's ear. They had it for $5 a garland. So I already have some garlands of lamb's ear that could be really good filler to use. So anyway, I'm going to play around with this idea some more. Let me know if you guys have tried this. Another thing you guys could do would be to split the pool noodle down the center. That's something that I might do so there's less filler that you have to work with, and so it will sit flat. I don't even know why I didn't think about doing that, but that's something you can do. And I've also seen some creative people like on TikTok and some of the Instagram reels split the pool noodle down the center, but just leave a split in it and you can attach it to your mantle. Now, the way that I do my garlands, I don't think that that would work on my mantle. I think it would fall off, but I've seen some people have success with it. And you could also put it up underneath your cabinet, which is super cool. I bought several pool noodles at Dollar Tree to try this idea. I just am not sure that it would stay very well, but maybe it will. You don't know until you try, right? But have fun with it, get creative, use whatever colors you have on hand, and go for it. So here is the final look. Now this little faux mantle is out in my crafting studio and it's wooden, and so I just have little nails that I'm able to hang it on. And I also ended up adding in some pretty and pink roses to kind of match the top swag garland that I have above my little faux mantle decor piece. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, for this Dollar Tree DIY, you guys would never believe I found this super adorable pink bunny. They've been putting out the white bunny for years, and I wanted to give her a shabby chic makeover. You guys loved that little bunny pillow that I did in my last video, and so I thought this would be a fun and easy craft you could do with your kiddos or grandkids or just on your own. These are just a great little fun crafty idea. Okay, so I'm gonna zhuzh and really fancy up this bunny. She is gonna become a princess bunny, and she's pink, so we'll call her a pink Princess Marie bunny. I'm taking some Dollar Tree pink ribbon and just tying that around her neck and giving her a big bow, and that's going to give you guys something to add in some pretty little decor like some roses or whatnot too. And these are so fun. They're $1.25. You should be able to find them at any Dollar Tree. Now I have these little pink pre-made bows, so we really had to fancy her up and give her some little bow earrings. Maybe that's what we can say that they are. I'm crafting upside down and backwards, so I didn't really notice that one of the little bow earrings was kind of off center, but that's okay. We don't have to be perfect here. So the next thing I want to do is add in this sweet little bunny crown. These are on my sweet friend Natalie's site, and her site is called totallydazzled.com, and she's linked in the description box of my video. I don't get any commission off of it, but I love supporting her because she's a sweet little small business, and she does send me jewels to use to craft with, so that is amazing because all of the crafting supplies can get a little bit pricey for my videos. But anyway, so now I'm just going to take this little lacy collar that I found at the thrift store, and it's so pretty. It's crocheted. I did not want to cut it apart, so I just decided to wrap it around Miss Pink Princess Marie Bunny, just to give her kind of, I don't know, a little fancy lacy dress. But you guys can just really have fun with this part. You don't have to add any clothes to your bunny if you don't want to, but she's super fancy, so we're going to add a little fancy bit and bob here. And I'm just going to keep going with her, just having fun, getting creative and fancying her up. I think it would be so fun if you had little grandkids to do this with. So they have pink bunnies, white bunnies, and little brown bunnies. So they have several different ones to choose from if you wanted to do like a boy bunny and a girl bunny, or just any color that you guys love. I added some pretty little roses into her little bow over here, and it's really getting a little bit full and floofy, so I was like, oh, I gotta push that down. It's gonna cover up her mouth. We don't want roses in her mouth, Miss Pink Princess Marie Bunny, but you guys can have so much fun with these bunnies. Use whatever ribbon you love. Dollar Tree has a ton of small ribbon. Now I'm also using this little brooch to go around her neck because she's so fancy. She has to have a fancy brooch. Another thing you guys could do would be to make a memory bunny. You could use maybe one of your grandma's little handkerchiefs and brooch just to really remember your grandma by, or you could use somebody that you love, a loved one's, maybe a piece of their clothing that would be special to you, and make a memory bunny that way. I'm just now thinking about this. I was thinking about somebody that I had lost today, and so maybe that's why that popped up. But I did also add little pink bows to her feet and roses, which is a little bit extreme, but you know what? I felt like the bunny feet were a little bit kind of flimsy and funny looking, so I thought, you know what, we're going to give her some fancy rose bunny shoes. She is Marie Princess Bunny, so she has to have some fancy shoes. What do you guys think about this bunny? I've shared these bunnies with you before. Another fun thing you can do is run ribbon on their ears, like on the inside of their ears. I ended up doing a little bit of crochet in and around her ears, and I also just popped off some little greenery and some tiny mini roses off my garland that I just did, because I was like, you know what, we need some little smaller detail on her as well. But she was so fun to do. Help me name her. Should she be Pink Princess Marie, or should we name her something else? I think she is just absolutely adorable and so gorgeous. And should I put her in my Etsy shop? I don't know. She's very imperfect. But she might be a cute addition to the cakes. I only have one of her. All of my creations are one of a kind, so none of them can be duplicated. Here is the little spot. I did cut a little bit off of the little vintage crochet doily, and I'm adding that to her ears. So also, I hope to list some of my new cakes in my Etsy shop, and I'm going to leave a link to my Etsy shop in the description box below. But I love how she came out. I think she looks so adorable. She's so royal and so regal, and just would be really cute in a little girl's room, or if you just love shabby chic decorating and you love bunnies, she'd be a cute little Easter girly pop to have on hand. Now for this next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to share with you guys some really fun little Dollar Tree garland ideas. So you can take these little Dollar Tree bunnies off their garland and just craft with them and make them something even more cute and fabulous. They're adorable on their garland, but you know what? I was like, you know, I want to make them into a cookie, a bunny cookie. And these are some of the free gifts that I've been including in my cake orders, because why not? I want to get you guys excited for Easter and have a little cute something to set next next to your cake for the season. I have my faux icing, which is featherweight dap spackling. I mixed a tiny bit of pink paint into it, and I'm just going to simply use a really small, I think it's a star tip. I don't really know a lot about icing tips. I'm kind of really getting the hang of using them to make them look really nice. So you just kind of, you squirt out a little bit and then you drag it, and you squirt and drag and squirt and drag. That sounds kind of weird, but that's how you pipe your icing. And so I've gotten pretty good with this tip. Now these are so small that I have to be kind of really careful to go really slow, but this is such a relaxing thing for me. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys like to decorate cakes or cookies or anything like this, if you've tried them and you find it really relaxing. Or how about I say, let me know in the comment section below what craft or activity, I also feel really relaxed when I'm cooking a lot of the times. Definitely when I'm crafting. And I've been listening to Mel Robbins' podcast, and she's been talking about how important creativity is, or to have a project to help with anxiety. Because if we don't have a project or something to focus on, a lot of times we'll turn our inner thoughts on ourselves and begin to kind of be real self-critical, or get kind of lost in emotions that maybe aren't healthy for us. And I was like, wow, that is really profound. And so just thinking about how much joy I get out of crafting, and how much of happiness it gives me, might be something that you guys could take into your life to give you a little bit of joy and happiness. And I also think that crafting helps us heal when we're heartbroken. I had one of you all recently share with me that you had recently lost your husband, or I'm not sure, maybe you had lost him in the last year, and that you had been suffering with a broken heart. And so I just want to reach out to you and tell you how much I love you. And I know many of you are suffering with different heartbroken things that have happened, or people you've lost. And so I hope that this idea of crafting through heartbreak can really help give you guys something to focus on and to help heal your heart. Because, and I've told you guys this before, is sometimes it's not always about our final project. Sometimes it's about just the journey and what we're doing. So give yourself some grace if your craft projects aren't perfect. Maybe you just need to craft just simply to help release some stress and anxiety or depression. So that was just my little tip from me to you. How do you think these bunnies are looking? I also think that we can craft in times of joy, and that our joy brings so much happiness to our work and our projects. And sometimes we can be crafting in the midst of joy and sorrow, because those can be going on at the same time. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys watch me work, and we're just gonna have fun with it and just make these bunnies into the sweetest little bunny sugar cookies ever. Now for this DIY, this is one of my little mini cakes that I'm going to be putting into my Etsy shop. So I don't know if you guys know, but my cakes take about a week to make, because each process has to dry for about a day to 2 days. And so I first put a crumb coat on the cake, and then I'll put the first layer of icing on. And then now this is like day 4 on this cake, and I'm putting the smaller layer of icing, especially with these smaller ones. And then I'll add in like all of the goodies. This one has a crown, and it will have some little mini roses and some other little goodies as I go along. So I'm piping the smaller icing. But with these cakes, because you're using spackling, you have to let that spackling dry before you can kind of pipe on more layers. So if you see like the purple and blue cakes off to the right of the table, those took again several days, and they are so adorable. I can't wait to share them with you guys. I'm going to try to give you guys a little bit of a close up on some of my piping. I feel like it's gotten really so much better and so good. Now piping icing, piping spackling, my faux icing, is way different than piping real icing. And I actually like piping the faux icing better, because I got a little frustrated, at least when I was doing the sugar cookies for the kids for Valentine's Day, that my buttercream just like it would get warm really quickly, I felt like. And maybe I should have set it in the refrigerator and let it set up longer. But anyway, that's just my hot take on what but I love doing these fake cakes and cookies. I just love them, and I love making them these princess cakes with the pretty crowns or the roses on the top. I hope you guys are loving it, and please check out my new Etsy listings once I get them up and running. I will make a post on Facebook and Instagram so you guys will know. But I'm so thankful because I had almost all my cakes sold out except for 2. And also, if you guys see the big cake next to my bunny, I'm going to be giving away a big cake like that for my I Love Spring series. So make sure you guys are subscribed and you're commenting. Now I'm just piping the little swooshes to make it super fancy. I'm going to let you guys listen to some music and watch me decorate. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to make like a little cake cross or cross cake. So Dollar Tree has these beautiful little white crosses out, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, I need to make some little cross cakes. I was going to fill in the center part so I could just make it one cross, but then I was like, you know what, I think it will be fine just to ice this and then maybe add some pretty roses or a bow to the side. Let me know what you guys think, but I think these are going to be so sweet for Easter. I may put some of them in my Etsy shop if they turn out well. This is just going to be the first layer of the icing, but the icing is fake icing, and it's that DAP featherweight spackling, and I mixed it up with just a tiny bit of pink to give it this pale pink color. I'm using 2 different piping tips on this, kind of like a larger star piping tip and then a smaller one that I went in to do a little bit of detail work. And then the hardest part with this, with the making the fake cakes, is I then have to stop my progress and wait for it to dry. So I usually wait about 2 days for it to dry because you can't really touch them and work with them and do more piping of the icing while they're wet. And I've also learned to do the bottom layer of my cake last. So that will be the last layer that I put on, because I can hold it with my hand. I can usually hold the cake with my hand to finish it up, but that last layer, of course, you have to be really careful, and even if you move it the slight bit, the spackling will get messed up. So if you guys order any of my cakes, know that they're handmade with love and they're going to have some imperfections, definitely, but I am a little bit of a perfectionist, so I'm probably harder on myself than I should be. But anyway, I'm changing out the little piping tip, which I love these little piping bags. I found them actually at Dollar General, believe it or not. So anyway, I also have like a little army of cakes cakes set up on my work table. I have 7 cakes waiting to dry. So they have their first crumb coat on, and then I'm going to wait and then sand those down, and then I'll put the first layer of icing on, and then I'll wait 2 more days, and then I'll put the next layer on, and then I'll probably wait another 2 days and finish it up with all the toppings and all of the detail work. So I'm telling you, they're a labor of love and also a labor of patience. So here is how my little Dollar Tree faux cross cake is looking so far. She's not finished yet, but I think she looks pretty cute so far. I think that it would be a nice addition to anybody's cute little cake collection. I'll let you guys know if I decide to put them in my Etsy shop. Okay, so for this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys a super easy, adorable Dollar Tree no-sew tea towel pillow. You guys really loved the no-sew pillow that I did for Valentine's Day, so I thought, let's do a spring one. And when I was unpacking my Easter spring decor, I actually found this tea towel from last season. I'm not sure if somebody sent it to me or if I bought it, but it was brand new with the tag on it. Surprise, surprise. But I'm just going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half. You want the print to be on the inside while you're doing this hot gluing. And please, if you're a sewing gal and you have a sewing machine, by all means sew this. You can sew it by hand, sew it with your sewing machine, but I'm a hot glue gal. This is a decorative pillow only, so we are using hot glue. I have never had a problem with it. Now you do want to leave one end open, and I like leaving that long end, so you want to do your 2 sides that are going to be the same. Flip that inside out, and then you can stuff your pillow and hot glue your remaining side together. And here is the final look on our super adorable little spring pillow. Now I have Easter eggs. So I found these Easter eggs at Dollar Tree and I thought they were so beautiful. I picked up several of them, but I decided that I could really fancy them up with this trimming that I found at Hobby Lobby. Now Dollar Tree also has kind of a Victorian trimming, but I really love this little bit more intricate one. Now I will tell you that this trimming is very difficult to glue with. You need to have either finger protectors, or I have neuropathy in my fingers, so it doesn't bother me to glue and press down the kind of lace trimming. And I also just let a little bit of glue build up on the ends of my fingers, and then that way I also don't feel it. So anyway, but you're just going to want to go ahead and keep gluing and adding that pretty trim. Now once I had all the beautiful Victorian trimming added, I decided to add some ruffle trimming, again also from the craft store, and I'm simply going to hot glue that in and around the edge of kind of the rough part of the Victorian trimming, which really there wasn't a super big rough part, but there was a little bit more gluey spots, and I just thought this would be so pretty and sweet. I would love to make a bundle of these. I only picked up about 5 of them though from Dollar Tree, but wouldn't it be pretty to do a whole tree full of these? These could even go for a Victorian Christmas ornament, to be totally honest with you. They look like they could be very ornamental. Also, if we got like some wedding applique trimmings to put those on the front, that would be absolutely stunning. Now Dollar Tree had this ribbon, it was called jelly ribbon, so I simply took some of the jelly ribbon, tied a cute little bow and added that to the top of my egg, and then I also added in some satin ribbon. I'm really not for sure why it's called jelly ribbon. I guess maybe because it's just kind of thin, but it was really nice to work with and it held its shape really well without being wired. So I was actually impressed with the jelly ribbon. It kind of reminds me of the jelly shoes. Of course, it's not like plastic, but remember the jelly shoes back when we were like little girls, when I was in elementary school? They had those back in the 80s. And then I also just want to let you guys know, with the lighter, I'm taking the lighter and heat sealing the ends of that satin ribbon. That's going to keep it from fraying. I always used to do that when I sold my really fancy Victorian decor in my Etsy shop, and somebody recently just asked me, they didn't realize that I had an Etsy shop. I have not had an Etsy shop in many years. In fact, if you guys go to my Livy's Romantic Home Etsy shop, the profile picture is probably like from 2010, so it's like 15 years old. But yes, I do have an Etsy shop that I have reopened. I'm selling my cakes, and I'm thinking about even putting some more treasures like this, like these little eggs in it, if I can get caught up. It's a lot to film and edit and then also be having an Etsy shop going on. So anyway, just thought that I would let you guys know the Etsy shop is linked in the description box below of this video, and I have several cakes in there, but I've also sold out of all of my smaller cakes right now. So you guys definitely, if you see something that you love, grab it, because they are selling out, and I'm just so thankful and blessed for everybody that has placed orders. So here is the final look of this gorgeous egg. What do you guys think? Again, I am loving these. I wish I had picked up more so I could do more of them. I'm not sure if my Dollar Tree will have more of them. We shall see, but I think they're fabulous, gorgeous, and pretty budget friendly, to be honest with you. Very chic, and again, we could use these even for a pastel Victorian Christmas tree. Okay, so for this Dollar Tree DIY, do you guys remember those Easter Peeps that I found at Dollar Tree? These plastic Easter Peeps. I chalk painted them this pretty pink, and I asked you guys what I should do with them. Well, I got a wild hair after piping one of my large cakes and had some icing left over, so I decided to go ahead and pipe one of these Peeps cakes, and I'm going to make it into just like a Easter bunny cherry cake with some cherries. Anyway, I'm taking my piping and I'm using a 4M piping tip. I'm just kind of starting to really get a lot better, I feel like, at using my piping tips. I don't know if you guys can tell from when I first started doing fake bakes. I've actually been doing them for a bit now, but I've really been watching a lot of tutorials. In fact, I want to give a shout out to Aunt Beck's Bakery. She has some really amazing tutorials on YouTube. She was a baker for a long time, or maybe a cake decorator, I guess, for a really long time, and she's just so precious. You guys pop over to her channel if you really want some really in-depth piping and fake bake, specifically with piping icing. She's just really good at it. So thank you, Miss Aunt Beck, for showing all of us how to pipe icing. And I have so much fun fake baking, you guys. It's so relaxing for me. Now, I've tried doing piping on like sugar cookies. It's a lot more stressful for me because the icing gets warm quicker, and with fake bakes, the consistency stays consistent no matter how detailed I want to get, which I like to do a lot of icing on my cakes. Like, I put so many layers of icing on my cakes that it's probably just kind of crazy, but I love it. It's just so fun and this is really relaxing to me. Maybe I'm strange. Do you guys like cake decorating? Is it something that you enjoy? But and for the icing, I use DAP Featherweight Spackling. I feel like it works really well, and it was a little tricky to get around my bunny ears. But the other thing I want to let you guys know, if you take a little piece, or if you take a paintbrush and dip it in water, that will clean up any flubs that you might have with some of your piping. Also, I did have a piece of gum in. I've got to really remember to take my gum out when I'm doing my videos, but I enjoy chewing gum. Just, I don't know, but I hate seeing it back when I'm watching the replay. So apologies, you guys. Oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. But I'm gonna take now and make some little swooshies. That was with, I think they call it a leaf tip. I don't know all my tip names, but I'm changing out my tip again and making sure that you guys can see me. Squinting. I should have had my glasses on. I usually wear my glasses when I'm doing fake cakes, but I was so in the moment that I couldn't stop. But I'm just kind of cleaning up my work and giving a little bit more detail to my swishes, my cake swishes. It's one of my favorite things to do, although it is hard. The cake swishes are hard. I will tell you guys that you guys can see my face. Also embarrassing. I'm very focused on this cake, this fake bake Easter cake. But anyway, have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. Okay, so now I decided to pop out of my comfort zone and do some little swirly twirls to add some cherries into. And so I'm just taking that larger piping tip and just making a little swirly dollop. I'm not even for sure what they're called, a swirly twirl. That's what I'm going to call them. I was worried it was going to get weird, the places I was putting the dollop, so I did add some to the center as well. Now I'm just adding in cherries, and I found these cherries at Hobby Lobby. You guys can also order them on Amazon, or pretty much any place you get crafty supplies. but they're really pretty. They feel really, really realistic to me. And I just thought it would be fun to have an Easter cake with some cherries. I don't know. Probably not something that's even realistic that a baker would make, but maybe. I don't know. That's what I do love about fake bakes is you can kind of make them into art pieces. And a lot of people ask, what do you do with fake bakes? Well, a lot of people have been ordering my fake bakes to give as birthday gifts. I will wrap them and leave a little birthday message inside if you want to send somebody a fake bake, a forever cake that they can remember you by. Also, photographers use them for props, and you know, bakeries probably also may be able to use them if I were to replicate a fake bake by a bakery. Not sure that I'm there yet, but maybe one day I will be able to get that good at my piping. I feel like it's definitely so much improved. And thank you guys for all of your love and support on this. I absolutely love it. Look at how adorable my little Easter bunny cake turned out. Now, this is probably going to take 3 to 4 days to dry. I might list one in my Etsy shop, so stay tuned if you guys like it. It may pop up, although it's so, so cute. I love to use these in my kitchen. Okay, now for this Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to make a Love Shack Fancy inspired Easter basket. My daughter, I had popped out to my craft table and she left this fabric on my craft table. She had bought a nightgown that had this beautiful vintage fabric on it, and she cut it off and made the top. So she left me with the skirt part. So I trimmed off the ruffle, and I'm going to use the fabric part to cover this Easter basket. This is just a plastic bucket basket from Dollar Tree. I think these are a really, really nice size. Actually, Dollar Tree, you did a great job this year on this larger basket. I feel like my kids always, I used to make big Easter hunts for my kids, and their baskets never, I would always get their baskets from Dollar Tree, but they never held all their eggs. This basket, I feel like could hold a lot of eggs. You could be a boss Easter hunter with this basket. But anyway, I'm just going to take the fabric. Sorry, guys, I got super sidetracked there, but I'm just going to take the fabric and hot glue it inside of my little basket. Another thing you guys could do would be to use like a vintage style pillowcase. Really any fabric that you have on hand. Maybe you got a stain on a shirt. You could use any fabric that you love that's going to make your basket look a little bit more girly and custom. You know, it's cute to have the plastic Easter basket, but what if we could have these cute little girly custom baskets? Oh my goodness, this one turned out so fabulous. I can't wait for you guys to see it. But anyway, right now we're just doing a lot of fabric gluing, which isn't super fun, but it's going to be gorgeous in the end. Okay, friends, I wasn't for sure if I was going to glue fabric onto the bottom of the basket, but I did end up doing it, and it ended up being fine. I was worried that the basket might not sit flat, but I think it's going to be just fine because I glued the fabric really flat. So at this point, you guys really could just stop and you could cut your fabric off. But again, I went ahead and glued this bottom part. To each his own, whatever suits your fancy. Now, you guys don't necessarily even have to run out and buy this Dollar Tree plastic bucket. Maybe you have a plastic bucket left over from years gone by, or you guys could even do this technique with a basket. You know, you could customize it. But Love Shack Fancy has the cutest Easter baskets. They're on the Pottery Barn website. So if you guys wanted to spend a little money, go to Pottery Barn and look at the Love Shack Fancy Easter baskets. They are so cute. I want one so bad, but they're like $50 to $60 for an Easter basket, and I don't even have kids that are hunting eggs anymore, and I'm an adult, so I'm not sure. I wish I could be a little kid sometimes and somebody could do an Easter egg hunt for me. I'm just kidding. But maybe my grandkids eventually one day I could buy craft little Easter baskets for them. But the Love Shack Fancy baskets are really, really cute. But this one's going to come out just as cute. So we don't even have to spend $50 or $60 on an Easter basket. We can craft one up using our fun little treasures that we already have on hand, which is what you guys know I love to do. Now I'm gluing the ruffle, excuse me, back on. Again, just more fabric gluing. Okay, now that I have the fabric glued back on, I am just going to take some Dollar Tree satin ribbon and simply hot glue it and wind it around. So I like to use as least amount as I can. So I just want to hot glue and wrap and hot glue and wrap. Now, I probably should have set my hot glue gun on low temperature because I felt like there was a couple spots I could have burn the plastic. So if you guys have the option, I do love this glue gun because you can set high or low on your heat temp. I usually go for high because I'm impatient. It just glues things faster. But if you had kiddos or grandkids helping you, it would be nice to have that option of setting it on low. I love this little pink glue gun. It's my favorite glue gun so far. It also does not have a lot of drippy glue that pushes out. So anyway, I just added in that little satin ribbon. The other thing I didn't show on this tutorial is I added more fabric to the bottom of it. Down where you can see down inside the pink, I did add fabric so it is all just cohesive. Now, I'm taking this beautiful ruffle trim from Hobby Lobby. I love this trim. They were almost out of it, so I must not be the only one loving it. But I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue in and around the base of my little basket here, just making it so pretty and girly and fun. And I'm just going to make one for me and my daughter, and maybe my future daughter-in-law if she wants a pretty little Easter basket. I think that would be so fun. I wish I had more of the same fabric, but I do have other vintage fabric that I can use. I have some vintage fabric that I really love, but I'm waiting to cut into it yet because I don't know. It's so pretty. I don't want to cut it yet, but I think I'm going to because these baskets turned out so cute, and I do have more baskets to do. So anyway, you guys have fun with it. Get creative. Now I'm using some of that Dollar Tree jelly ribbon. Again, I wasn't for sure if I wanted to put bows on the front or the side. I went ahead and added bows to the side. Also on the Pottery Barn, the Love Shack fancy baskets, they have the option to get the names, I think, embroidered onto them, which I thought was super cute and fancy as well. So it'd be fun if you could embroider, your kiddos or grandkids' name on this Easter basket. But look at how gorgeous these turned out. I mean, these are absolutely stunning. I was so in love with this basket. I was ready to go Easter basket egg hunting. I don't know. Anyway, so fun and fabulous. I think even if we're grown-ups, I think we can still create beautiful treasures for our home and have that feeling of nostalgia and beauty in our homes at any age. I think we could be 90 and have a beautiful Easter basket. What do you guys think about that? Look at how gorgeous it turned out, fun and fabulous, and this was pretty budget friendly. Okay, for this DIY, now let's work on one of my fake bake cakes. So I have part of it done. There's several steps that go into my fake bakes. First, I have to lay down the icing, and actually first I have to add on the Love Shack fancy wallpaper. Then I lay down the first coat of icing, then I paint that icing. For this one I added an image of Marie Antoinette, and now I'm just going to pipe icing around the image and then around the cake. And bear with me because the angles are a little bit hard as far as like catching what I'm doing, so I tried to get a little bit better angle. And then apologies also because I am chewing my gum. home. But you know what? I love to chew gum, and so we're just gonna have to roll with it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and take, I believe this is called a star tip, and I am icing in and around where the paper is, and then also where the seams of the paper are. I don't want you to be able to see the work behind the magic, I guess. So anyway, this is some of the Love Shack Fancy Beautiful Roses paper. I used some of this in my daughter's room. We did a DIY, a couple DIYs back with it. It is so beautiful. It's so elegant, and I'm just so blessed and honored to share these creations with you. I want to also thank you to everybody that has ordered a little cake out of my shop. It is so appreciated. I use that money to support my family and also to reinvest into my little craft business because, you know, buying supplies to create these videos does cost some money. And so anyway, now what I'm doing is I'm marking off the places on my cake where I'm going to do the swishes. And I'm sure that there's a fancier name for it, but they just seem like swishes to me. So for the swishes, I'm using a leaf tip. This is the first time I really started using this leaf tip, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. I felt pretty confident today because I have been practicing quite a bit on some of my other cakes. You can see the one off to the side is waiting in the wings. Now, what I do love about the spackling is if you mess up, you can simply take a wet paintbrush and remove whatever you messed up, and then just go ahead and go on about your business and continue the icing process. Now, if you do order a cake from me, please know that these are handmade with love. There are going to be plenty of imperfections in my icing. But handmade with love, and I think that it makes it a little bit more beautiful, that they look a little bit imperfect. I would say they're perfectly imperfect, just how we are, you know, in real life, just how God loves us, perfectly imperfect. So some of the cakes I'm also putting crowns on. You can order for your friend's birthday, for your daughter's or your granddaughter's birthday. They would be a really cute little cake to use as a prop if you're a photographer or you just want to celebrate somebody's birthday. I've also had some sweet friends order some of these cakes to send to their loved ones for a belated birthday or an early birthday, which I thought was super sweet as well. And apologies because there was a little fly that popped into my studio. There's a song called Shoo Fly Don't Bother Me, and this fly, well, I had my door open today because it was 75 degrees. I couldn't resist. It didn't bother me. I couldn't care less if that fly came in. I just wish I would have had a fly catcher or a fly swatter nearby to get him, but it was worth having that door open to get that fresh air in. I took Bingy Bear for a nice fresh air walk. We played in the backyard. We got to throw this stick, all the fun things. So now I'm just doing a smaller little layer here with a tiny little star tip. And just using my little paintbrush to touch up any imperfections. These are truly a labor of love. Now this cake will take 3 to 4 days to dry with the heavy layers of icing. Now I'm going in with the large star tip, the 4M. I found it at Michael's. I also bought a larger piping bag. So this is a 16-inch piping bag. I was using like a 12 or a 14, but for these larger shell borders, it is nice to have more icing already at the ready. So again, just doing a nice little shell border here in and around the top part of my cake. I was going to, now after I get to this spot, you can see the one off to the right, I have to stop. I can't decorate it any further because if I touch any part of it, it will mess it up. And I do not want to do that after all of this work with all the icing. So I have like cakes sitting on my another table that are just waiting. They're just waiting to dry. So it almost reminds me of waiting on God's timing, you know, being patient, setting it aside, knowing that God will work, that God's moving. And so that's kind of what I think these cakes are for me. They're a labor of love. They're an exercise in patience for me. I'm a pretty impatient person at times. So it gives me the opportunity to be patient and wait and know that whatever home they're meant to go to is where they're meant to be. I'm putting this in God's hands, my little business, and also all my videos and creations. And I am so thankful that you guys are supporting, watching my videos, even though I've gone to a little bit more of a shabby chic kind of Love Shack fancy girly style here. It's really nice for spring, and I have just been so excited to craft and decorate now. And I know some of you all found me at the beginning, and I did a lot of shabby chic girly videos back then. And then Farmhouse became really big, and I wanted to be able to, you know, offer videos to everybody that was, I guess I went a little bit more on trend with that. And I still love that kind of rustic French farmhouse look. I think it's beautiful. I always try to do a mix of so many different things. So if you guys missed some of that old content, I have 1,100 videos on YouTube. You guys can go back and watch any of my old videos. I have most of them kind of organized into playlist. I try to do a seasonal a series every series. So that's I love Christmas, I love fall, I love spring, which it's kind of redundant. I don't come up with super creative names, but it will blanket and cover everything that we're doing. So with spring, we have so many fun things for spring, and I call this the pretty season. Now look at how pretty this cake is looking. Oh my goodness, I feel like it just looks absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be my stopping point after I add the little swooshes. It needs to dry. Definitely, it's going to take at least 4 days. Now, I was very careful with this, but I did go ahead and add a bow and some roses. Guys, I felt like it looked a little bit too unfinished, and I didn't want to disappoint you guys. Here it is. I will be possibly listing this in my Etsy shop. I don't know. I'm totally in love with it, but check my Etsy shop to see if it pops in there. It definitely will be about 4 days before I'm able to get it up and running. Fun and fabulous, and I hope you guys are inspired, and let them eat cake. For the first Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to give this super cute little Dollar Tree bunny a makeover. So I found this for $3 in the Dollar Tree Plus section, and I really did think that it was adorable, and actually already had it set out in my house using it, but then I was like, you know what, this little bunny could definitely do with this shabby chic makeover. So I decided to take some chalk paint. It is by Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Fluff, but you guys can use any color of paint that you want to use to make over your bunny, or just really any, you know, little figurine bunny that you guys have on hand, or really pretty much anything you want to make shabby chic. Give it a white coat of paint and then keep going. But a lot of shabby chic can also be pink or blue or purple or green, but for this one I wanted to do a repaint on it. So I didn't even notice that it had actual little florals on it until I started painting it white. You couldn't really see it with just that matte blue, but it has these really beautiful little daisies on it. So I decided to take a detail brush and some pink paint and just go over the little details that are already on the little bunny. So I'm painting some cute little daisies on it. And again, the daisies are already on the bunny. You just really couldn't see it with the blue paint. So I'm taking the pink paint and starting out with that. Now you guys, if you have some different colors of paint, like a darker pink, lighter pink, and then some green, that will be enough for this project. I also recommend having a little bit of white paint to mix in and kind of give your little bunny a bit of dimension. Now this is later on in the day, because sometimes when I'm filming, I just have regular mom stuff get interrupted. And so I had to change out of my fabulous little Victorian outfit, and I am in a cute little mom shirt and this apron. But I'm taking some of this Waverly, I think it's like a celery colored chalk paint. My sweet friend Stacy sent it to me. Stacy, if you're watching, I'm still using those chalk paints that you sent, and I am just outlining where there were some little green leaves on the actual bunny. And again, these were already on the bunny, so I think this is just looking so good. I really was surprised about how much I loved this little bunny. And you guys necessarily, again, wouldn't have to have the Dollar Tree bunny. You could easily paint some flowers on any little bunny that you have. Now I'm going in with this little bit of darker pink, and if you guys have ordered any of my cakes, this is some of the same color that I use on my pink cakes. So that will match any of your cakes that you guys have ordered. I have an Olivia's Romantic Home Etsy shop where I'm selling my cute little fake cake designs, and thank you to everybody that has ordered and even just encouraged me. That in itself is such a joy. So I'm going in with a little bit of a darker paint and mixing it in with some white to give it dimension. And really, with a paint project, you guys just have fun with it. This is something your kids and grandkids could do with you. And I am chewing my gum. Don't look, but I do love to chew some gum when I'm painting. It just helps me focus and concentrate. So one of you all had said that was what a lot of when you're chewing gum and you're crafting or decorating, that's what it is. It's helping you focus and concentrate. So there we have that. What do you all think about this little Shabby bunny makeover? I feel like it looks really high end, and I could even, if you wanted to, you could even seal it with some waterproof Mod Podge, and the bunny could be in your garden possibly. Although with all this work, I'm not for sure I would make her into a garden bunny, but I do think sealing it maybe with some Mod Podge, although I'm wondering sometimes when I seal things with Mod Podge if it's going to smudge the paint. And so anyway, but just have fun with it, get creative, make whatever flower colors that you want. Hopefully you guys can find this bunny, and if not, choose whatever bunny that you love that you have on hand. Here is the final look, and then I'm just showing this bunny next to the one that's not painted in case you guys wanted one that was plain. You could tie a cute little bow around her neck. She was still wet with paint, but here is the final look. So fun and fabulous, and she looks so cute in this setting. I can't wait to share the rest of these DIYs with you all. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take one of these cute little wooden bunnies and give her a shabby chic makeover. And this is almost like a shabby dazzle makeover. I'm just taking some of this chalk paint. It is in the color Fluff by Dixie Belle Paints, but I also love any of the Waverly paints that are at Walmart. I just happen to have this on hand. And the color Fluff is not an all white color. It has a little bit of, I don't know, I would almost call it a grayish tint. It's not really gray, it's not really beige, and it's not really that dark of a color, but it does have, it's not pure white. So if you guys do order the color, it's not going to be all the way pure white, which I kind of like that it's a little bit more muted. But I'm just going to go ahead and give my bunny an entire coat of the paint, and I did do 2 coats, and I did front and back. In case I set her in front of a mirror, she has to be fabulous on both sides. Now I'm going in with just some pale pink paint, and it's some of the same paint that I use with my little painted bunny that I have over the year. to the side of me, but I just wanted to outline this little bunny's ears. And again, this is a great project you guys could do with kiddos and grandkids. Just get your little Dollar Tree bunny and have fun with some painting projects. And so I'm going to give the bunny some little bit of some pink feet, and then I decided to just give her a little outline right here on her bunny bum. Not for sure, just thought that there would be some like a cute little pink swoosh there. I'm also going in with some Love Shack Fancy Roses paper. This is some of the wallpaper that I had left over from wallpapering my dining room. You guys could easily cut out a napkin. I don't know if you guys saw my little puppy dog Beachy Bear just roll by. And I'm going to show you guys some Beachy Bear at the end of this, but I'm just adding in some cute little roses and then a little rose at the top to cover up where that hanger was supposed to go. And then from Dollar Tree, I got some of this pink paint. Now this pink paint has a little bit more red undertones, and I want to kind of mute the little bit of more purplish pink. There's so many different colors of pink, and so I'm just adding in a little bit more pink to brighten it up, and then I'm going to lighten it again with some white paint to just kind of give it a little bit more dimension. When I was a little girl, I was put into private art classes, and my favorite art was the pastel classes. They started us out with charcoal classes, and we had to do charcoal for like a year, and then I did pastels for several years, and then as I got older they graduated me to oils, but I did not enjoy painting with oil paints. I found it really difficult, but all the pastel shading I loved. I'm also going to add in some of this little Victorian trim, and I add a cute little pink bunny bow to the top of her, and there we have this. She is so shabby chic, and this is what I would call shabby dazzle, because she's a little bit more shabby and dazzling than she is shabby chic, although it could be shabby chic. Whatever you guys want to call her, we need to name this bunny. What should we name her? She's very, very pretty, but let me know in the comment section below, what would you guys name this oh so adorable, pretty and pink roses Victorian bunny? For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take one of those stackable eggs. You guys can find these at Dollar Tree, and they are $5 in the Dollar Tree Plus section, but I found these at my smaller store, so I don't think you would necessarily have to have one of like the super Dollar Trees. Anyway, I'm taking this pink paint, and I'm just going to outline the little diamond pattern on this egg. So I found it easier to just go along the edges on one strip as I'm doing this way, and then once you have that done, you just go back the other direction. That's way easier than trying to outline a diamond. The reason I'm outlining this because I want to paint the diamond pattern, which was a little bit of an undertaking, and I got a little bit more in over my head than what I anticipated, but it was doable. You just need to have some patience. And I only got one coat in, so I do need to go back and paint another coat in with the diamonds. But I'm just taking this pink paint and painting the diamond pattern. I found it easiest to paint all the way up the egg and then start again and go from the base and go all the way up. That way I didn't skip on the pattern, and as I went along, the paint dried before I started turning the egg. If I painted all the way around at the base, I would be turning the egg before it had a chance to dry. So that worked perfectly for this project. And also standing up and kind of holding the egg also was easier than sitting down, is what I found to be true, until I get to the smaller egg, and then I sat down for most of that one. But put on a show. I love listening to audiobooks on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube search bar, type in free audiobooks, and there's a plethora of audiobooks that are really, really amazing authors, and that you guys can listen to. And I love to listen to them while I craft and paint. I love to do that, or listen to some praise and worship music. So I hope you guys find a fun audiobook, and happy painting and crafting. So once I had the first one conquered, I went for the second one, and it was the same process. I outlined it first, and I suggest outlining your egg with the same color of marker that you're going to be painting your diamond pattern with. So Mackenzie Childs has the most beautiful rosy check print that they have out now, and it is everything I can do not to go and order something, but their stuff is so expensive, you guys. Maybe during the barn sale I'll try to pick up a little cup or something, but I am just dying to have one of the rosy check prints. Oh, it's so beautiful. If you guys love Mackenzie Childs, check out their rosy check print, but we're kind of doing this as a dupe, and this is super budget friendly, $5 and some paint. And then I want to go pick up a new gold paint pen, and I might outline in and around some of the checks with a gold paint pen. I haven't quite decided that yet. Let me know in the comment section if I should add some gold into this. For the smaller egg, it was the same technique. I just outlined everything and then just painted the little diamond pattern on. And I really, once I started this project, I couldn't stop. I had to complete the project. So I don't know, but something about painting checks and patterns for me is super relaxing. I have a tendency to get distracted really easy and go on to another project. So maybe it's a challenge for me just to complete the project. And sometimes I'm tempted to not complete it, but this one, I really just loved painting these, even though I felt like it was a bit of a daunting task when I first started this. I thought, you know what, there's no way I'm going to be able to paint these all in one video. But I thought, well, if I just start one and see how hard it is, and it really was not that hard, you guys. So with a little bit of patience and some creativity, you guys can have a beautiful Mackenzie Childs dupe stacked egg on a total budget. I hope you guys try this one. Give it a whirl. Worst thing that happens is you just take the paint off or you just paint over it. So very fun and fabulous and very budget friendly. This next DIY is not a Dollar Tree DIY, but it is a thrift store DIY. So my sweet friend Lorena had brought me this sheet, and it's kind of a shabby chic floral pattern. And what we're going to do is make a big throw pillow cover. So my throw pillow is 20 inches by 20 inches by 20 inches by 20 inches. It's a giant square all the way around. I bought it a couple years ago at Target and removed the actual pillow cover. And what I'm doing is I'm measuring out 22 inches on the sides and then 24 inches long. You want to make your pillow a little bit longer at the end because I noticed that it just seemed to become short, and I'll show you guys why. But what we're going to do is make a no-sew throw pillow cover, so basically like a no-sew sham. Now I also recommend to really iron your fabric or sheet out really well. That way when you're hot gluing it together, there's no wrinkles in it, and when you put it on your pillow, it looks really nice. So I ironed it multiple times. I ironed it before I started cutting it, and then I ironed it after. And you want to cut 2 squares. So however big your pillow is, measure 2 inches on each side, and then an extra probably 3 inches at the bottom. So it's still almost a complete square, but you want to give yourself a little bit of extra room at the bottom of your pillow because you don't want to hot glue the whole thing together. You want to hot glue 3 sides, your 2 sides, and then your top side, and leave your bottom side open because we're going to put some cute little ties on it because we want to be able to remove a throw pillow to wash it. So I've showed you guys no-sew pillows before, but this one I'm being very serious about because these are for my daughter's bedroom, and also for my couch, which I have an exciting spring refresh update to share with you guys. We're going to be making over my living room area, and I'm super excited to share that with you guys. So make sure you're watching towards the weekend for that video. But I'm going to continue to hot glue, and you want to be really patient with your hot gluing. Use high heat hot glue. Do not wash these on any type of warm or hot water. They will be fine though to wash them on cold water. And if you guys have any flub ups, you guys could always just give it another little stitch of glue. Now, we do have a sewing machine at my house. It's my daughter's and it's broken. So we did try to get it out and resurrect it. No such luck. So I went for the hot glue gun and I busted out 4 of these. Actually, I ended up doing 6. I did 2 on Saturday and 4 on Sunday. So once you have that done, inside out your pillow, and make sure you push out those little corner edges with your finger before you put your pillow back in. And then once you have your little pillow, you can just pop it back in. Super easy peasy. Now, I did forget on this pillow, because I'd already done a couple of them, you want to hot glue. So this is the edge that you want to leave open, but you want to hot glue those raw edges under. So make sure it's turned inside out and just hot glue those 2 edges. That way it doesn't have like a frayed edge, unless you want a frayed edge look. But for this one, I wasn't going for any kind of frayed look. So I wanted to make that edge nice. So anyway, once you guys have that done, then you can go ahead and inside out your pillow and pop it back in or pop your pillow back in. I've already made sure my corners were good, but I just wanted to double check just in case. And then you can put your pillow in. And so this was a 20-inch by 20-inch by 20-inch by 20-inch pillow. And I measured it at 22 on the sides and then 24 on the length. I hope that makes sense. I gave myself a little bit more room, because after I made a couple for my daughter, I realized it needed to be a little bit longer. I'm taking this cute little gingham check Dollar Tree ribbon, and I'm just going to make some ties for it, because I feel like it looks a little bit too sloppy to be open like that. But if you create ties, and you might want to sew these, but I am hot gluing the ties. Now, I don't know how long the ties will hold up hot glued. Okay, this is a little bit of trial and error. I have not done a pillow like this before with hot gluing ties to it. I usually just hot glue like a whole throw pillow together all the way. But I wanted to make these removable because they're going to be on my couch. They're going to be in my daughter's bedroom, and they need to be able to be washed. So I want to be able to take the cover off and then wash it and then pop it back on. We will see how long they last. But you know what? If I'm being honest with you guys, I usually only use a throw pillow for a season. So I'll usually want a new cover for it for every season. I usually buy throw pillows that have removable zipper covers, and I wash them until that pillow cover is almost gone for. Okay, and I also made some smaller ones with some little Dollar Tree jelly ribbon on the end. Let me know what you guys think, and I can't wait to share with you guys how I did the quilted one. It is so easy, totally fabulous, and so budget friendly. And there's a sneak peek of the other project that I'm working on that I'm going to share with you guys towards the weekend. I'm so excited for that one. For this DIY, we're going to do another no-sew pillow cover, and I measured this pillow and it was 18 inches all the way around. So my sweet friend Lorena had gotten me these standard pillow shams, and it was this beautiful shabby chic fabric, but I really couldn't use it as a throw pillow cover, so I decided to modify it. So if you guys have some pillow shams that are super cute, but you don't need pillows on your bed, you can modify them. Cut off the bottom, and then I'm going to iron it really, really well before I hot glue that bottom back together. But I feel like this is such a hack that I don't know why I haven't thought about this before. Actually, I think I have thought about it before, but I've never tried to execute it because I just thought it might turn out kind of weird. But the best part about this is there's already in the back of that sham that little opening for your pillow to go into. Now, because this was quilted, I did just go ahead and hot glue that edge before I hot glued the two back together, if that makes sense. I needed that quilted edge to be nice and sturdy because there were multiple layers on it. So I very, very carefully hot glued that edge back under so we didn't have a rough edge. But basically what you want to do is you chop off the bottom of your pillow, you want to measure it, and I measured it about 2 inches longer than what the pillow size was. So it was an 18 by 18 by 18 pillow. I believe I measured it about 2 inches shorter than that. So anyway, so you can go ahead and do that. And then once that's finished, I just took the next edge and just kind of rolled it under. See, I'm rolling that under to where it'll be even, and then I'm just going to hot glue that whole pillow together. And again, same thing, instructions with this one. You guys don't want to wash this on hot water or warm water, but if you're just using it for your couch or your bed pillows, it'd probably be pretty easy just to throw it in a cold water or delicate wash, and that way you can keep it clean and you have a cute little throw pillow cover for your throw pillows. So what I love to do is I love to go to thrift stores and I immediately go to their fabric section and I go to their bedding section, and then I'll just bring the pillows home. I always wash them on hot water, add a little bleach, make sure they're nice and clean. And I also shop at pretty clean thrift stores, although who knows where this pillowcase came from, but still hoping for the best with that. Haven't had any issues yet. Now I did iron it again, and then I'm going to throw my little down throw pillow back in here because this is a nice throw pillow insert. Why not be able to have the luxury of changing out my pillow covers whenever I'm in the mood for a different style? Because if you guys have followed me for a while, I've been on YouTube now for about 7 years, and I have changed styles here and there, which I love to do. I get bored of things and I want to do something a little bit different. I'm feeling romantic, let's do romance. I'm feeling more black and white, let's do black and white. More farmhouse, whatever. So anyway, I'm back to my shabby chic girly ways. Here is my pillow. Look at how adorable these came out. No sew pillows. Using everything I already had on hand. And that rose fabric was just a big giant sheet, which I think is so fabulous. Here is the final look. And again, that little sneak peek of the project that I'm working on for this weekend. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to have to come back and see that one because it's a dream come true, truly, this project that I'm working on this weekend. Something I've always dreamed of and hoped for and prayed for. So I am so thankful and blessed to have you guys here. I am loving these little pillows. Let me know what you guys think, and if you try this. First DIY, we are going to create a gorgeous floating floral arrangement. You want to cut your foam about the size of whatever vase you have. I'm using this thrifted crystal vase, and I'm going to hot glue my greenery in and around the base of the piece of styrofoam. You don't want your styrofoam to be super thick, but you also want it to be thick enough to be able to hold your florals, if that makes sense. So I'm going to guess that this is about 2 to 2.5 inches thick on my foam. You guys could also use a floral ball if you were using a cylinder vase, but I really love this idea of a floating floral because it's so absolutely versatile. You can move it from vase to vase. You can also use it as a centerpiece, and I just love that I can use my beautiful crystal vase without the weird fake floral stems being seen in the bottom, and it just looks like it's floating, which I absolutely love. And I find so many beautiful vases at thrift stores and resale shops. So I just thought this would be such a fun idea for you all to implement into your decor space. And I'm using the greenery is from Hobby Lobby, and I'm mixing it up. I'm going from the kind of drapey greenery to the Hobby Lobby greenery. So the draping greenery has a little bit of movement. It's texturally kind of moves downwards, which is nice because it gives your arrangement some flow and some movement. And that greenery is actually from Dollar Tree. And then the more spiky greenery with the pretty little florals on the end is from Hobby Lobby. Now these I used 2 little bouquets from Michael's, and they were $5 a piece. I love the color of these roses, and I am using a pointy pair of scissors to poke holes into my floral arrangement because not all of these florals have a good pokey spot to dig into that styrofoam. This is pretty stiff styrofoam, I guess. And so then I also want to add in a little bit of white florals in and around the base of my roses. You can see my puppy dog popping his little head up. He brought his ball out to play with me, and we did play for a sec. I stopped the camera and played with him, but then I had to keep moving. I took him on a big long walk, and we played a lot later this afternoon. But I'm also hot gluing these roses. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a shorter rose as I go around. So I'm using one full bundle to start out the floral, and just spacing them about 1 inch to 2 inches apart. You want to space them apart, but also kind of keep them a little bit close together. So once we have that done, we're going to start adding a little bit of a different height as we move into the center of our arrangement. Now, you guys do not have to use pink roses. You guys can also use whatever color of florals that you have on hand. And I do love to chew gum. Apologies if you notice that, but it helps me concentrate and focus. Now I'm adding in kind of these white florals as filler because you don't want to see that styrofoam. So you want to use that in and around the base, or you could also use baby's breath. I also found these little white florals at Hobby Lobby, and I think they look really beautiful. They look springy, they look just elegant, and they also are going to give your arrangement some texture and movement. So you want to have about 2 bundles of your greenery, 2 to 3 bundles, depending upon how much is on your greenery stems, and then a bundle of your white florals. And you might want to grab 2 bundles of your white florals just to have extra. It's always good to have extra. And then 2 bundles of your little $5 bouquets from Michael's, if you so choose, or whatever roses you have on hand. Dollar Tree also has some pretty roses. I also have those ranunculus off to the side that I pulled from another floral arrangement, and so that would be 1 bundle of those ranunculus. So this is, you know, about $30 for this arrangement, but it's beautiful because it can last forever because of the faux flowers, and it can go anywhere because of the ability to move it around. So it could act as a centerpiece or as your floating floral. I'm starting to add in the taller ranunculus, and I want to add 1 to the center that's going to be the tallest, and then you want to add 2 that are kind of going to drape out to the side, or, you know, just kind of cascade a little bit, and then 1 to the front, and then 1 to the back. And you can add more filler flowers, but it's getting rather full right now. I do want to try to give my flowers a little bit of room to breathe, which I do love a very full arrangement. If you guys are new here, I'm a little bit of a maximalist, so bear with me. And I also want to let you guys know that I did pick in some lamb's ear. Right here you can see in and around the base of the floral. That way you're not going to see into the styrofoam. You could also just use some extra leaves. Here is how it looks. Look at how fabulous it is. You just pop it directly on to your vase and you have this floating floral arrangement. These are also really wonderful to use on a bridal table because you guys can put them on any vase, and you know, any that's going to be about the size of your floral arrangement. This is my Olivia at the Ritz Paris. So if I was at the Ritz Paris, I would have this beautiful floral that was fresh florals set out for me. I like to use faux florals because they're easy upkeep, and I do love real flowers as well. Maybe I'll get some real flowers this week, but fun and fabulous and pretty budget friendly. For this next DIY, we're going to do a thrift flip on this $5 home interiors picture that I found. I love it because it's a mother just holding their child and spending time, and I just think it's such a sweet little picture. So I'm going to remove the backing, and the frame is actually nice. I've used it in my home for about a year or so, but I want to make it a little bit more fancy. And when I watch fancy European videos of their homes and hotels, especially the Ritz Paris, you guys know I love love that. And since we're pretending like I'm in Paris at the Ritz in my living room, I thought we really need to fancy up this frame. So I'm taking this gold spray paint that I found at Hobby Lobby. It's a metallic brass gold spray paint, and I'm just going to give it about one coat of spray paint just to kind of brighten the frame up and make it look a little bit less 1990, 2000-ish. Whenever the home interior stuff was really big, it kind of has that finish. It had like little specks in it, which again, it was lovely, but we're going to make it a little bit more fancy. So I'm going to add a nice good coat of paint. And you guys, it was so nice outside to paint today. I was so blessed and thankful to have a nice day. We've had rain for probably 4 days straight. So the next thing I want to do is take some adhesive glue. You guys can also find this at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to take a fine paintbrush and I'm going to paint the adhesive glue on the little swirly twirly things that are on the outside of this frame. So we're going to do some gold leafing, and I've tried gold leafing before and gotten really impatient, but I've watched more videos on it and I've experimented with it more. And the key is you put your glue on and you wait for that glue to dry all the way until it's clear. So you want to set your project aside, and then you can take your sheets of your gold leaf foils. You guys can order this on Amazon for, I think, $7 for 100, or you can go to Hobby Lobby and it's about $3.50 for 25. I was impatient and I grabbed some from Hobby Lobby, but I think I might go on Amazon. I had so much fun with this. So you want to take, after your glue has gotten really tacky and it's dried to clear, but it's still sticky, it's about 20 minutes. You take the little gold leafing and just set them over your project, press it down, and then you want to take a dry brush and dry brush the gold leaf flakes off. Now this project's going to get kind of messy, so be patient with it. Have a little vacuum on hand, or do it in an area that can kind of absorb those gold flakes. But then I'm going to go ahead and put my little picture back together. Now I did gold leaf those really pretty scrolly pieces, and then also the inside of the frame. I am a little bit mad for gold leafing right now. It just makes everything look so fancy without spending a lot of money, and the little glue and foil sheets, they're not that expensive, you guys, and can really make something really pretty and fancy. So I'm putting it back together, and here is how it looks. I think it looks so gorgeous and oh so fancy. I noticed that the Ritz Paris has really beautiful gold frames, but gold frames are really expensive. The ones at Hobby Lobby are very pricey. So for about 10 bucks, we created a fancy frame out of a little $5 thrifted treasure. Look also for frames that you can remove, you know, the backing on. I think it looks really fancy. I have to get your feedback in the comments section below and let me know what you guys think. For this next DIY, we're going to transform this little Dollar Tree metallic tray, and I'm just going to use some of the gold spray paint and give it one good coat of gold spray paint. I do think that they make these Dollar Tree trays in gold though, but I just happen to have the silver ones at hand. A friend of mine gave me a bunch of Dollar Tree crafting supplies, so I'm just going to use whatever I have and give it a quick little coat of paint. I didn't use tons of paint because I knew I was going to gold leaf over the paint, but I did want it to already have a base of gold, which is helpful because if any of the gold leaf flakes off or it kind of shows through, it's just nice to already have. So my original intent for this tray was to do gold leafing around the edge and just leave the base plain, but you're going to see I went through several processes on how I wanted the tray to look, and I'm still not even for sure, but it's just a Dollar Tree tray, so give yourself some grace if you guys are like me and you're changing your mind mid-project. But for the gold leafing, again, you're going to take your little adhesive glue, and so this isn't regular glue, this is gold leaf adhesive, and you can see that it's kind of white, but then once it dries, it's really tacky, and so that gold leaf, those little metal sheets, it sticks to it really nice. And I do like to have gloves on when I'm gold leafing. because I don't like the feeling of the stickiness on my fingers. And it's really funny because my son Max is the same way. He doesn't like his fingers or his hands to feel sticky. I don't know. It's just a little funny thing about us. But so you're just going to take those little sheets and just kind of dot them down where that sticky part is after it's dried clear. It's about 20 minutes. And then you go around the entire project, or you can, I get a little bit impatient and will grab my brush and just start, swishing it off so I can see what it looks like. Now for this tray transformation, it's really not a huge difference between it just being painted gold and the gold leafing, but the gold leafing gives it a little bit more of like that antique feel, or that little more fancy feel, I guess. I need to grab some Rub and Buff. Everybody keeps talking to me about Rub and Buff, so I haven't tried that. Is that a gold? Does that make things look gold? I need to look that up. Anyway, I'm learning a lot from you guys, especially in my little group page. Thank you guys so much for everybody that's posting my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook group page. It's totally free to join. I just created it for you guys to share photos of your home decor and DIY projects, because it's just a nice way to build community with all of us that are crafty gals, or just people that love to craft or get inspired by other crafters. And thank you for everybody's kind comments on everybody's posts. I'm just so proud of the community. I feel like there's so much out there in this world that's negative. Let's have a really positive place, and my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook group page is really, you guys are showing up and showing out with your positivity, so thank you. It's a way to bless others for sure. So I'm using this little fan brush, and I'm simply getting all the little gold flakes off, and look at how pretty this tray looks. I just think it looks really, really pretty like this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Looking back on it now, after I tried multiple things on the base, I think I almost like it best with gold, but I have to try different things. So the first thing I tried was chalk painting it with this pretty blue chalk paint. I love the Bridgerton blue, and so I was thinking, well, that might be pretty to chalk paint the base, and then I didn't like the blue, so I gold leaf over that, and I was like, I don't like that. That looks messy. So I got out my Love Shack Fancy Wallpaper, and I decided to add some Love Shack Fancy Wallpaper to the base of the tray, because they actually sell Love Shack Fancy trays for a pretty pricey, but I had some of that wallpaper left over. Now you guys could use contact paper, whatever paper you have on hand, to add to the base of your tray if you so choose. You could paint it, you could leave it as is, whatever you guys love to do. But I just went ahead, traced it out, and then cut a piece of the wallpaper off. And also I'm super excited because I'm going to be putting new cakes in my Etsy shop, and I can't wait to share those with you all. They're really, really pretty and fun. And I added some like pink cherries on some of them, and you guys can kind of see some of them off to the side there, but they're really, really pretty. I can't wait. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon. They're almost all dry, but here is the final look. What do you all think? Now, I did put cakes on top of this, which kind of hides the Love Shack Fancy Wallpaper, but it's still really, really pretty. And there's a couple of my new cakes that I'm going to be putting into my Etsy shop. And thank you so much to everybody that has been purchasing my cake. It's Olivia's Romantic Home Etsy. It's going to be linked in the description box below. Fun and fabulous on a budget. This next DIY, we're going to do a thrift flip on this thrifted book. I actually found a set of books on the back dock of my thrift store for free. They're old encyclopedias and I've had them for a while. They're fun, but I really want to make them look fabulous and make this into a Marie Antoinette style book, or just really any book you guys want to choose. So I'm going to take some of that adhesive glue. You guys, I am so into this gold leafing right now for this video, so I hope you guys are inspired to try this. It's such a fun and easy craft. The glue is inexpensive, as well as the little gold leafing sheets, and you guys can get all of this at Hobby Lobby, or you can order these off of Amazon. But once you put your adhesive on, you want to let that dry for 20 minutes until your glue turns totally clear, and then just simply take your little gold sheets, lay them down. Now I like to use gloves, and also I have a trash bag underneath me because these gold flakes are everywhere in my studio, you guys. I'm gonna have a big cleaning project tomorrow, but I'm just going to add in this little gold leaf, and you guys can also even kind of corral some of the extra flakes and reuse them, which is, I was doing that as well. But then once that's done, you just take a nice big little fan brush or brush and just brush off those extra gold flakes. And you guys can get so creative with this idea. I had so much fun with this project. So you guys might have seen the video a couple videos back where I took some Love Shack Fancy wallpaper and made Love Shack Fancy books. But I didn't want all the books on my little bookshelf that's in my living room to look the same, even though I do love the Love Shack Fancy books. I was like, you know what, we need to make some that are like fancy, kind of like if they were in Louis XIV's library. So that is what we're channeling, that inner just Regency style decor, or the Louis XIV, 15th, I think, was really fancy. They did a lot of, you know, fancy gold stuff. So we're going to be fancy in my little budget friendly home. I did do the little spine of the book. I left the book in its original kind of taupe form. Let me know in the comment section, should I paint that part of the book and make it pink, or just leave it as is? Sometimes I don't have the best of luck with painting books, but if you guys do, let me know what your tips and tricks might be. It's probably also just a measure of impatience when I'm doing a craft. I just need to let things dry and then give it another coat. So anyway, but I did go ahead and gold leaf the spine of the book, and then I did one full sheet also on the back. I actually started the back and was going to do the back the same as the front, and then I messed up. I just started painting the whole thing with glue. So I ended up doing this, see, you can see right there, I meant to just do this strip, and I was like, oh, whoops, well, we'll just do the whole thing. Which it ended up turning out, I liked that better for that side, because then I was able to put the pretty little picture on there, which I can't wait to share with you guys. Now, if you guys want to use photographs on your projects, a little tip that I do is go to Pinterest, and I'll get free images off Pinterest, and then you can send them to Walgreens, and the 4x6 prints at Walgreens are like 30 cents. So you guys can get quite a few. Here's how it turned out. Here's how it looks. I think it's gorgeous. Loving that. But hey, we need to add in something fancy. Now, I found this beautiful Marie Antoinette picture on Pinterest, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the front. And then that's going to be my fancy little book. It's just for fun. It's just for decor. So I think that these are just so fun to play around with. Here is the final look with all the pretty cakes and my pretty little setting. We're feeling fancy in my fun and fabulous living room, pretending like we're at the Ritz Paris when we're just in my living room. Where should we go on vacation to next? I feel like maybe we should do Italy in my kitchen. Wouldn't that be a fun idea to theme all the different rooms in my home? Anyway, I love to do some dreaming because I think that that just gives us so much fun and fabulousness to look forward to. Okay, to get started on this tutorial, you're going to grab your pool noodle. These are from Dollar Tree. I wish I would have grabbed the white ones, but no such luck. So I'm going to use the green one because I'm thinking the greenery look a little bit more green and real back behind kind of a green pool noodle. Anyway, you want to cut your pool noodle not with scissors. I found out the hard way. You're going to cut it with a box cutter or a little X-Acto knife, and that is going to split it straight down the center. For the most part, it wasn't perfect. Now I'm going to layer that greenery that I found at Michael's. So fun tip here is Michael's greenery in the greenery section is a little bit more cheaper. It's in the spring area, but it's in the greenery part of the spring. I hope that makes sense. It was 40% off anyway. It was a pretty good deal for this big piece of greenery, as full as it was. I'm going to layer some lamb's ear on top of that to make it really nice and full, because you guys know I love big, full, fluffy garlands. This is also going to double for my son and my daughter-in-law's wedding. I'm so excited. So I'm going to make a bunch of these for the wedding. I made 3 for today. But you're going to take your 2 garlands, layer them together on your pool noodle. Now you're probably wondering, well, why do I need the pool noodle? Well, you're going to want to have something to stick your florals into. And I want it to be pretty much foolproof. So when we get to the wedding, I want to be able to set this garland out and give it a little fluff and not have to worry about it. So if it's put together like this, I'm going to share with you guys a complete step by step. So I'm zip tying it probably in 4 to 5 places to the pool noodle. If you can run your zip tie through the pool noodle, you can do that as well, but it's also okay just to kind of wrap it around, because we're going to be covering it with florals anyway. But 5 places, about 5 to 6 places on this, definitely at the ends, and then several in the center to make sure it doesn't move around. And these came out so good. So I'm going to kind of give you a longer tutorial. Usually I would shorten this part, but I just want you guys to see exactly how I put this entire thing together. So start with your zip ties. Okay, once I had all of the greenery attached, then I'm going to take this beautiful large bundle. This is also from Michael's. This one I love because the florals were really full. There were hydrangeas and big fluffy cabbage roses, some lavender, and they had also a lot of greenery. So for this piece, I really want it to feel like an English garden. Again, this is going to be for their wedding, but it's also going to double as my mantle decor because the wedding isn't until September. So I wanted to do some testers to see if I liked this. I kind of did a tester out in the garage on that one, but I had repurposed and reused just kind of some old junky florals. For this one, I wanted to see if I could actually make this happen and make it pretty budget friendly. And it really was pretty budget friendly, especially since we got the lamb's ear garland from Hobby Lobby on clearance. They were $5 each. They're the ones that were in the bridal section. I don't know if they're still there on clearance. It was about a month ago. So I am also hot gluing every single flower stem. Each one is going in individually. It's going to get hot glued as I put it into the garland. And then at the very end, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to trim all the little stems, you know, that are poking through. And then we're going to hot glue again. This baby is not moving. It probably will not be able to be repurposed and reused because I'm going to use so much hot glue. Again, I want to be able to arrive at the wedding, have these in a bunch of totes, set them out quickly, give them a little fluff, and go on about my business. I don't want it to be a super difficult process. I don't want there to be a lot of like, arranging the florals. I want the florals to be ready, drop them down, and be good to go. I want to be able to spend as much time enjoying everybody. I am excited to decorate for the wedding, but I just don't want it to, I want it to just go really well, I guess. And I want it to go so well that even if, what if something happened and, who knows? Somebody else could be helping me put it all out there and together. So we're not going to be putting these together the day of. They're going to be ready, set, and good to go. So I hope you guys are there with me. Let me know in the comment section if you have decorated for any weddings. Again, I am hot gluing each stem into the garland. Once I had all the larger stems hot glued into the garland, I also grabbed this kind of bundle. It looks kind of like baby's breath. I'm not sure, but they were really pretty, and I trimmed them apart. And then I'm using some of my Dollar Tree greenery pieces that have like little white flowery things on the end. I'm going to hot glue those in and around the areas of the garland that needed to be a little bit filled out and also covered to where we don't want to be seeing that pool noodle. But this little part is of course very extra, but it's going to make things look a little bit more full, a little bit more detailed, and a little bit more elegant and high end. And here is the final look. I did 3 of these, so that was going to be 15 foot. Each one was 5 foot each, and so I'm thinking we probably need 4 for each side of the aisle. I need to go back and look at all the measurements again, but I thought it was looking really nice and pretty professional for it just being a mom at home doing this DIY, and it cost me probably about $45 to do with everything that I added into it. Now, you guys can make it a little bit more budget friendly by taking out some of the extra pieces if you wanted, or if you could find a better deal on maybe some of the florals or garland. Now, here was that extra step I was talking to you guys about, where I went back in, I trimmed off all of the stems. I didn't trim them all the way down, but I trimmed them pretty far down to where they weren't poking out. And then I'm hot gluing each stem underneath that was popped into there. That way these are not going to move. I want them to be very secure and very professionally done, as professional as they can be when you're at home DIY mom. But you know, I just wanted them to hold together really nicely. Again, that way when we're setting them out, I don't want pieces falling off of them. I don't want to have to be arranging them. Look at how beautiful they are. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm using this as my mantle decor for my Easter piece, because we're going to do double duty here. That way I have stuff to decorate with, and I can just detach it and carry it on off to the wedding. Now, it probably will need a little bit of fluffing, but I'm going to share with you guys a secret little trick using some more of those pool noodles, how we're going to add some of the beautiful tulips and spring flowers without really touching this garland at all. Now, I did take this garland and zip tie it together. That way it just can kind of hang down on each side. So I had a center piece of it, and then one on the other side and one on the other. Now, if you guys were using this for bridal, you guys could also get those inexpensive Hobby Lobby arches and simply attach them with zip ties to an arch. So in total at Michael's, I spent about $140, I believe. And then of course I did use that lamb's ear. I used 3 strings of the lamb's ear from Hobby Lobby. So that would have been $15 total there. But not too bad for this big of a piece. I know some people have had, you know, these garlands, they can be up to thousands of dollars. So we don't have to do that here. Even though this is a little bit more expensive than, you know, some of the more budget friendly ideas that I've shared with you guys, I feel like it's pretty budget friendly for as full and as gorgeous as we're going to make it. And that price that I told you guys about, what I spent on Michael's, that's including all of my pink flowers that I bought too. So this would have been a lot less had it been just the greenery and the white flowers. Here is the finished look. If you guys just want to keep it simple and you just want to feel all whites, I sent it to my future daughter-in-law and she was in awe. She was like, oh my gosh, it's so elegant, it's so full. So I was really excited that she loved it. And I think it's going to be so elegant and gorgeous for their very special day. And again, I do have several more of these to make, which I'm excited about now that I kind of found this formula. So the Michael's garland, a little bit of the lamb's ear, and then some of those big pretty flowers. Now, to create the pink parts of this garland, I'm going to simply take one of those pool noodles that I messed up cutting, and I'm going to cut it into 4 different pieces. I'm only going to end up using 3, but I'm also going to clip apart some of the lamb's ear because I do have extra on that, and just zip tie that to this smaller piece of the pool noodle. So my idea for this is that I could create a pink some pink floral parts to add in for my spring Easter garland without having to push those pink florals into the bridal one. That's my plan here. So we'll see if I'm able to pull it off. So for the pink florals, I'm going to use some pink tulips from Michael's. They have such a good deal. Their pink tulips are always my go-to for spring. They're $1.99 per bundle right now. I also just used a couple touches of pink wisteria. They only had 1 bundle of pink wisteria at Michael's, which was fine. It's a little bit more of an expensive floral, and I didn't want to spend too much on the pink parts of this because I'm really trying to conserve so I can save back money for bridal, which thank you guys so much for everybody that's ordering cakes. I'm able to take some of that money and reinvest it in some of these florals that I'm sharing with you guys. It helps me out so much because some of these florals can get a little bit pricey to do that I share on my channel. Also, I'm going to add in some of these pretty roses. I actually found these in Florida at this little boutique shop that my daughter and I stopped in over the New Year's. We'd like to go down there during New Year's because it's such a discount to be able to stay at one of the nice beach places, and it's just a fun way to kick off the new year with family. So I'm just adding in some roses, some wisterias, some greenery, and some of these beautiful pink and white tulips. Okay, now I'm going to add in the pink parts of the garland, and this was super easy to do because I just did this in sections. I did 3 different ones, and I kind of had the wisteria drape off to either side of my mantle, and then this one was the one that went in the center. I thought I was going to be able to just kind of set them up there, but it ended up that I had to zip tie them in to the big bridal garland. I think the bridal garland is going to be just fine though when I take it apart at the end of my spring Easter season. Then the other thing that I want to let you guys know about is you guys could easily change out the pink colors for blues or purples or yellows if you don't care for all of the pink. Pink is personally my favorite color right now for this season, and also just my favorite color in general. I know some people I've had see comment that they don't care for it. I know some people love it, but if you don't love it, that's okay. All you guys have to do is change out the flowers that you're seeing that are all pink and do all the colors that you love. But since this is my home and this is what I love to decorate with, and this is Olivia's romantic home, I'm going to use the colors that I love. So I hope that's okay with you guys, because allowing my home to bloom hopefully shares joy with you guys. So now I did end up going ahead and adding just a couple of little tulips and ranunculus up at the top because I felt like it was just falling flat with just all of them at the bottom. What do you guys think about my hair? I've been letting the dark grow back out, but of course I actually do have to kind of color it to keep some of the gray back. I was going a little bit more blonde, thinking that that was going to be awesome and cover up all that gray. And it was. I thought it was really cute, but it was so hard on my hair, and I felt like my hair was just breaking off and falling out. I was actually a blonde as a little girl when I was growing up. Oh, real quick, back to the DIY. I'm adding in a couple of little tulips and just pink florals towards the bottom just to kind of mix everything in. But anyway, back to my hair. I was a white blonde baby when I was a little girl. I had blonde hair all the way up until I had my daughter. Now wait, I shouldn't say that. I had blonde hair all the way up until my mid-20s. And then once I started having my kids, I think my hormones changed and my hair started getting darker. And then once I had my daughter, my hair got really dark. And then I just started coloring it at home with brown, black coloring. But my natural hair color really isn't or wasn't that dark when I was a little girl. It was more towards the ends of my hair, I guess, that kind of honey blonde. Okay, now I found this really cool runner at Hobby Lobby that's like a grass runner. I thought this was a super fun idea to put in front of my fireplace to make it look like fake grass. The other DIY I want to share with you guys is a super easy one. These little plastic plates at Hobby Lobby are adorable. And I'm taking my candlesticks that I found at the thrift store. I painted them gold, and I made a cute little cake stand for some of my big cakes I've been sharing with you guys. Oh my goodness, I've been putting them in my Etsy shop. It's Olivia's Romantic Home Etsy, and I'll leave a link in the description box below for you guys. But I have been selling out of these cakes. I'm using the Love Shack Fancy wallpaper on them to make them really unique and gorgeous. They take about 2 weeks to make. start to finish. It's such a big process to make them, but I absolutely love it. It's such a relaxing craft. And I know some of you guys have really been enjoying some of my cakes that you're finding in my Etsy shop. Thank you so, so much for blessing me with your orders. It really makes this mama's heart smile. And then the other thing I wanted to do with this is I added some little bunnies, and I got those little tiny bunnies at Michael's. They're so cute. I actually ended up adding them to the tops of a couple of my cakes. And then I'm just doing some Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby hanging eggs. I am loving this garland. This is probably my favorite Easter garland that I have ever done. Now, I made these big pink bows during Valentine's Day. You guys can go back and watch that tutorial if you want. It's basically some pink Christmas ribbon and then some ribbon that I had found at Michael's, just layered in how I always do my bows. And I just zip tie those to either sides. Let me know if you guys think I should add in some purple or some Easter ribbon to this. I felt like I had a lot going on. I actually wasn't even going to add bows to this, but then I thought it would be so gorgeous to kind of just really fill it out and make it look a little bit more dollhouse and fun, which I love creating really fun kind of dollhouse boutique ideas on my channel here. So I hope you guys are here for it. And remember, please, you can dial it back and do whatever you love, or you can make it even more fancy. But this is me just sharing my heart and my art, my home with you guys. So thank you for being here and loving on me and loving what I'm doing. Here is the final look. What do you all think? If you guys notice my little Easter cakes off to the side, those are actually cakes that I still need to finish, but I took those Michael's bunnies and popped them on top of them, and then the other little cakes that I added kind of into the Easter setting, and then the little Easter screensaver. You guys, all you have to do is go to YouTube and type in Easter screensaver with frame, I think, and you guys can find so many fun little bunny ideas, and they look so super adorable. I just love it. I think it turned out adorable. Now, what do you guys think about my bookshelves? Should I do something different down there? Should I take the books out and do something more Eastery? I feel like it's already got a lot going on. Wouldn't it be cute if I had all pink books? I don't know. Should I paint those books? That would be super weird. But I am loving this so far. I think it looks really nice with my Love Shack Fancy wallpaper, which you guys saw me do during the Easter time.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafting and decorating adventure. And I feel like this is such an adventure to have 60 amazing crafting ideas in one video. I hope you guys loved it and are just having fun, either playing it in the background to whatever you're doing, or maybe just chilling out and just having a binge-worthy crafting and decorating session to get so many amazing and fun ideas. Listen, it is such a blessing and honor to have you guys here. If you didn't click on this video and watch my videos, I wouldn't be here. So I am truly thankful and immeasurably honored. Listen, I also have an Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook page. I share daily crafting inspiration with you guys, like 6 or 7 videos a day to keep you guys totally inspired to craft and decorate. I try to mix it up and do different things, old things, new things, all that kind of fun stuff, all different styles and seasons. I'm a seasonal decor enthusiast and I'm a bit of a maximalist, if you guys can tell, but I love it. So listen, to each his own. Remember, you guys can customize any of my ideas to match your personal style, your home decor. If you love purple, blue, pink, white, red, whatever color under the sun, go for it. Grab your glue guns, grab that paint, and make it your own. I'm thankful to have each and every one of you guys here, and I'm thankful for everybody that is brave enough to post pictures of your home decor and DIY projects. It is I know everybody's at a different spot in their crafting and decorating journey, and some of our projects come out amazing and some of them need a little bit of work. So I have all kinds of projects like that. Trust me when I tell you I do. So also I have been reading in this fun little devotional, and it's Easter, so we are going to read a special one today that I kind of just handpicked, and then we'll go back to the one that we have been working on. But I also, for the first time, can we get a round of applause? They're dirty, but I remember my glasses. Here's my little glasses. I'm so embarrassed about how dirty they are. Can you guys give me some tips on how to clean glasses? I mean, I could Google it, but I feel like you guys know more than Google. Okay, so the one that I chose for our Easter devotional is called Live by the Word. And if you guys are wondering, this is just a little devotional that came off of Amazon. It's 365 days, and it's called He Whispers Your Name by Cherry Hill. My sweet friend Stacy sent it to me. Okay, I'm gonna grab some water because I drank all of my tea over there. Now, we're ready. Live by the Word. My word can be heard, but living by it makes it come alive. I want you to live in a way that makes my word come alive in you. I want you to continually stop and consider all the blessings I've given to you. Praise and worship me as you work through your daily life. My word has been given to you as instructions for your life. Every situation you face in life has been covered in the scriptures. That is so true. Each miracle I have performed in the past is to assure you that I can and will do the impossible. Don't believe that miracles aren't for you. I will do the impossible in your life, just as I've done in the lives of others. My desire is that you will live with a grateful heart and a joyful spirit no matter what you're facing in life, but you must allow my word to sink deep within your spirit and soul, enabling you to live righteously by faith. I am with you to strengthen through my word, to give you the courage and power you need to resist all that comes against you. My word is alive and active, and it's sharper than any double-edged sword, penetrating even to dividing soul and spirit and leading you onto the path that's everlasting. Teach me your ways, O Lord, that I may live according to your truth. Grant me purity of heart so that I may honor you. And that's Psalm 86:11. Teach me your ways, O Lord, that I may live according to your truth, and grant me purity of heart so that I may honor you. I love that. Psalm 86:11. And to be honest with you guys, I really couldn't even see the little tiny psalm print. So hopefully I said the right thing. I think I need to get my prescription checked. But I just want to read that with you and share that with you, because I do believe that God has this Bible, this amazing gift of the Bible, has truth in it that we can apply to our life. And I even applied something to my life today, and that was to be patient and to be loving and to ask forgiveness for somebody that I had hurt, and I didn't even know that I had hurt this person. And I love this person. They're a precious, beautiful person in my life. And, you know, I had just gotten busy and I had overlooked some things. And, you know, sometimes in my busyness, I forget to reach out, or sometimes when I go inside myself and be quiet or work too much, you know, I just neglect relationships that need to be taken care of. And so in all humility and kindness and love, I went to that person. I apologized deeply and regretfully for hurting them. And I hope that I left a good example on how to live in just a way that is loving and kind. And I asked for their forgiveness, and we are now on good footing, and I feel like we worked things out. And you know, we did it over the phone in a phone conversation rather than texting, which I really recommend either a phone conversation or face-to-face, because I think when we text somebody that we say things that are more hurtful than we mean to. So I want to give God praise and thank you for helping me work this relationship out, and pray over all of your relationships that this, you know, Easter Sunday or this spring, that you find a renewed hope, that you forgive where you need to be forgiven, and that you ask for forgiveness when you need someone to forgive you, because we are going to always, and try not to, but we're always going to step on people's feelings, and our feelings are going to be hurt too. So I encourage communication, and I also encourage forgiveness and ask God to give you the right words. So I hope that this blesses you. I'm gonna hug all of your hearts so tight. I hope you have a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed Easter. We are gonna have some fabulous new crafting and decorating coming up. I'm so excited. I'm always like so excited for every season. I hope you guys are excited, and I can't wait till our next video. And until then, be kind to yourselves. Please be kind to one another, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.
That I love you.